What's up, y'all? Lyrics Born in the house. You're watching Distortion, the Static for the Bay Area, y'all.
So I guess first, like, I mean, where'd you get the name Lyrics Born from?
Lyrics Born. Well, when I first started out making records in '93, my original name was Asia Born, and then I changed it to Lyrics Born back in '94, '95. Mm-hmm. So it's been Lyrics Born ever since then. But most people call me LB. You know what I mean? But it's been Lyrics Born ever since then. I'm just like every other rapper out there, man. I got like 10 aliases, you know what I mean? LB, Asia, Lyrics Born, you know what I mean? So that's just me, doggy.
So Lyrics Born. So where are you from originally?
Berkeley, California. Okay. Yeah, the Bay Area.
Cool. So you born and raised?
Yeah, actually I was born in Japan, and then we moved to Berkeley in 1979. Yeah, it was 79 or 80 we moved to Berkeley.
Oh, okay.
And that's when that's the first time I had ever heard hip hop. And man, after that I was just bit by the bug, man.
Yeah. So who were some of the people that really, influenced you and really inspired you to rhyme?
Hip hop wise?
Yeah, hip hop
or otherwise.
And otherwise also.
Like being from California, being from the Bay Area at that time, man, like the late 80s, early 90s, we're lucky because being in the Bay Area, we get music from everywhere. Mm-hmm. We got just as much music from the South as we did from LA, as we did from New York, you know what I mean, or as we did from the Northwest, So, I used to listen to everything, man. 2 Live Crew, Too Short, LL, mm-hmm. Eric B, Boogie Down Productions, you know what I mean, NWA, King T, so all that stuff, that's what makes a Bay Area special, I think, it's because we get like everything in equal doses and we're not biased. We got a lot of pride, like obviously, just being from the Bay and just being proud of the West Coast, but we listen to everything,
right.
Always have, we always have, and I think that's, like I said, I think that's one of the things that's really special about the Bay Area, so.
Definitely, yeah. Why don't you just introduce, your crew or your close family?
Yeah. Well, I come from the Quannum crew, mm-hmm. which is myself, Lyrics Born, Black Alicious, DJ Shadow, the Poets of Rhythm, Latif the True Speaker, Latyrix, Maroons, Joyo Velarde, the Lifesavers, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And our crew is worldwide. Our crew is from Portland, our crew is from the Bay, our crew is from SAC, our crew is from overseas, you know what I mean? And what we do is we just make good music, man, hip-hop or otherwise. We just try to make good music. And, we put out about 10 albums over the years, you know what I mean? And right now, my album is dropping on October 7th, and that's later that day. It's my debut album, Lyrics Born, later that day. My debut solo album. Some people out there might know me from Latyrix, mm-hmm. but my debut solo album is dropping on October 7th, and it's got everybody that I just mentioned on there. It's got tracks from Cut Chemist from Jurassic 5 that you may know from Jurassic 5. Poets of Rhythm are on there. Another Bay Area cat, Tommy Guerrero, is on the album. Latif the True Speaker's on the album. Gifted Gab from Black Alicious is on the album. You know what I mean? So, we're just trying to do it, man. Just an independent label from the Bay Area, you know what I mean? It gets national attention, international attention, I'm very blessed. Tomorrow we're going to Europe. I tour probably 6 months out of the year, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And, man, just trying to do it like that, man. It's we're very lucky because in the Bay Area, we have a very rich tradition of hip-hop crews, you know what I mean? And of hip-hop groups, like from anywhere from the Click, you know what I mean, to the Dangerous Crew, to Hieroglyphics, mm-hmm. Living Legends, you feel me, Kaku, everybody, you know what I mean? It's just, there's so much talent in the Bay, that, and the Bay has the spirit and the drive to say, you know what, we about to go out here and just do this on our own. We're about to start an independent label, and this is how we're going to do it. We're not going to wait for the industry to take notice.
Right.
We're going to get out here and get on the grind and sell the records ourselves if we have to. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we do well at it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So my crew was just another part of that. You know, my crew was just there. I mean, I'm sure there are many more, not to leave anybody out because there's so many crews. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The Zion I crew. You know what I mean? There's so many crews out there. But and clicks, but you know, I represent Quannum.
Yeah.
You know.
So yeah, you touched on something that was interesting. This is a question, more of a general question.
Yeah.
Like how do you feel about the Bay Area in terms of the mainstream media around the country?
Yeah.
Because you know, there's obviously a lack of Bay Area music in other cities.
Right. Right.
You know, so how do you feel? Do you feel like it's changing in any way, or do you feel that?
I think it's changing. I want it to change. You know, it's not, the Bay Area isn't supported like it needs to be, I feel like, you know what I mean, but by the industry, you know. But then again, when you think about it, it never really has, you know. And so I feel like, I mean, and people don't realize that the Bay Area has so much talent, you know, and so much pride, you know, and so many different kinds of talent, you know what I mean, and such a diverse sound, you know what I mean. It's like a lot of people just don't realize that what we have here, you know. And I think that's changing though. I think that's changing because I think the attitude of the Bay is, like I said before, you know, if major labels aren't going to take notice or major radio stations or whatever aren't going to take notice, but we're just going to take it into our own hands, you know, and make it happen. You know, no disrespect to anybody, you know what I mean, because you know, whatever the outside world is doing, it never stopped the Bay from eating, you know what I mean? But it's the type of thing to where, you know, everything that the Bay has gotten, the Bay has earned, you know what I mean? It's never been given to any of us. And we've all had to get out there and make it happen, you know what I mean? And that's why, you know, there's so much pride here, you know what I mean? It's because everybody's got so much strength and fortitude, you know, and is just willing to do whatever it takes to make it happen, you know what I mean? And that's why, you know, the Bay is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about the new projects that's coming out with your group?
Yeah. Well, like I said, you know, October 7th is later that day, my solo album. It's the first album that I produced basically by myself. I did 12 out of the 14 tracks on there. The other 2 tracks were done by my man from Oakland, DJ D Sharp. He's a DJ around the Bay. You know, you probably, if you've been to a club in the Bay, you've seen him. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And Cut Chemist, like I said, from Jurassic 5, from down in LA, did a track. But other than that, I mean, I produced the whole album, and, you know, at least for me, like, I'm always trying to keep myself challenged and be in a position where, you know, I don't get caught up with the status quo, and I'm not trying to worry about what everybody else out there is doing, man. You know, I just got to do my thing, you know what I mean? And so that's really where I was coming from on this particular album. And, you know, I'm proud of it, you know, I'm proud of it. It's coming out on Quannum Projects. You know, we're independent, you know, and we're doing it, you know what I mean? And I think, you know, I'm real proud of the rest of my crew, you know, like the Lifesavers are out, you know, you see Black Alicia's doing their thing, you know what I mean? Shadow's doing his thing, you know, and, you know, Gift of Gab's got a solo record on the way, Gift of Gab from Black Alicia's, and Latif the True Speaker's got a solo record on the way, you know, so, I mean, we're all trying hard, you know, just staying busy, man, and just staying focused and just working, you know, just keeping our heads down and working, you know. Right. I'm on the road constantly, you know what I mean, and you know, I mean, I haven't gotten any sleep in about the past 4 years, you know what I mean. That's why I have to wear sunglasses in interviews. Yeah, I know I'm not on no superstar mess, you know what I mean. It's just that they bloodshot, doggy. So, you know, so that's what we've been doing, man. You know, just out there doing it, working hard, man, and it feels good. You know, it really feels good. Yeah.
How do you feel about the state of hip hop in general, overall?
I mean, you know, people ask me, you know, what do you think about the state of hip hop a lot, man, and you know, I don't know how to answer that question really. You know what I mean? I think that I think just like any other kind of music, just like any other part of life, you know, it's things that I like about it, it's things that I don't like about it. You know what I mean? And it's kind of hard for me. I mean, I'm not one of these guys that's going to come out here, you know, and talk bad about everybody, you know what I mean? And I'm not going to sit here and shoot down hip hop, you know what I mean? Because I don't feel that way, you know, and that's real popular right now. A lot of people want to do that. I mean, like I said, man, I mean, whatever the industry is doing, whatever these other cats are doing, you know, it never stopped us from eating, you know what I mean? And so I just kind of feel like, you know, I can either spend this time, you know, complaining about things, or I can get productive, you know what I mean, and stay busy, you know what I mean? And that's what I choose to do, you know. I'm not really one of these guys that's going to sit up here and talk about, oh, I wish it was 92 again, you know what I mean? I don't feel that way, you know what I mean? The past is the past, and it'll never be that way again, you know what I mean? And I think we need to stop, you know, worrying about the way things used to be and start thinking about tomorrow a little bit more, man. And, you know, just stop complaining so much, you know? That's the way I feel about it, honestly.
Mm-hmm. That's real. I always felt that way, man.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers is caught up on 93 a little bit too much, man.
You know, let it go, man.
Yeah.
You know, let it go.
And plus, it's relative because it's like, you know, there was weak shit back then too.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like,
Exactly.
But
No doubt.
You know.
I mean, it was a special time. You know, there's no doubt about that. But I mean, you know, what are you going to try and be 13 your whole life? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You got to move on, you know?
Exactly.
And if you don't move on, the rest of the world is, you know what I mean? And I think, you know, I'm definitely not trying to be that guy that's like left in the dust, you know, trying to worry about yesterday, you know what I mean? So, I mean, for me, it's pedal to the metal, full speed ahead, man. I'm not trying to get caught up in what happened yesterday or last week or 10 years ago, you know what I mean? I think it's important to understand the past, you know what I mean? But there's no way in hell you're going to get me to try to live in the past, you know what I mean? So that's just not the way we need to be, you know?
Yeah. So not a lot of Bay Area artists can say they traveled the world, you know?
Yeah.
So what city in America or what city all over, you know, in the world, you know, is giving you the most love, or have you felt the best vibe?
Besides the Bay?
Yeah, besides
the Bay? Oh, man. First of all, I love Austin, Texas. I love Austin, man. There's so much music in Austin, you know what I mean? You know, I'm very privileged, you know what I mean? I'm very blessed to have been able to sing the world, you know what I mean? Let alone the United States, you know what I mean? Man, I love Chicago. I love Portland. I love Seattle. You know, I love playing in Minneapolis. You know what I mean? I just, you know, I'm just happy to be able to do what I do for a living and make good money at it. You know what I mean? And I've been everywhere, man. I've been to Brazil. I've been to Australia. You know what I mean? It's like if you're good to the music, man, the music will be good to you. You know what I mean? And if you stay down for it, you know what I mean, and you're like, okay, let me do this the right way, you know what I mean? There's nothing that it won't open the doors for you, you know, to you for, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just it's a great thing, man. I just love playing in general, you know what I mean? I just love every aspect of what I do. I love it, you know what I mean? So it's cool. I wish I could get a little more sleep sometimes, man, but.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have, though, man.
Yeah, you know. I mean, you got to think, man, like 99% of the people in the world, man, they get up, if they got a job, they get up out of the bed every morning, and they're like, man, I got to go to work today, you know what I mean? But, you know, I get out of bed every day, I'm like, man, let's go to work, you know what I mean? And so I think that in itself is a blessing, you know what I mean? And not a lot of people can say that. Everybody can do it. But not a lot of people can say that, you know what I mean? So I'm blessed. I'm really happy right now, you know? So it's dope.
It's good. Yeah, I've actually heard about Austin, though, man. I've heard that they got the best.
Austin is off the hook.
I heard they got the best music scene in the country, though.
It's off the hook.
Yeah. This guy told me that, yeah.
Oh, man, it's crazy. 6th Street, it's about as long as Telegraph. It's nothing but clubs. There's like 7, 8, 9 clubs on every block.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And they just got live music every night.
Yeah,
every night of the week.
Yeah, this one guy told me that like you could find any type of music in a 3-block radius.
Yeah.
Like, any type of music.
No doubt. It's true.
That's real. That's
It's hella true.
Really?
Yeah.
I think like one of the nights we were there, I think it was, I think in one night on this one street within a few blocks, like you said, it was me, Sinai, Luciano, Ozone Motley, and there's one other group I'm forgetting, man. One other group I'm forgetting, but within 3 blocks on the same night, you know what I mean? And it's like that at least 3-4 times a month, you know what I mean? Because there's music every night of the week, you know?
It's tight though.
It's hot. So, you know, I've probably been rapping since maybe, you know, my freshman year, junior high school, or freshman year of high school. And I really started getting into it in college when I met Black Alicious, and I met Latif, and I met Shadow. We were all going to school together I went to Berkeley High, and then I went to O'Dowd and St. Mary's, and I graduated, and I went out to Davis, UC Davis, and that's when I met my crew. You know, that's when I met Black Alicious, and I met DJ Shadow, and I met Latif. And we just started getting down from there, you know what I mean? And at that time, you know, we were kind of on the same thing. It was, you know, we were kind of all about like, well, shit, let's go get signed. You know what I mean? At that time. But, you know, people weren't getting signed like that back then, you know, and we just kind of were at the point where we were like, well, shit, are we going to can I curse, by the way? Does it get bleeped out?
Yeah, we can bleep it out.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know, it gets to the point where you're like, well, man, are we going to sit around here trying to get signed, or are we going to really do something here? You know, so we pooled our money together, you know what I mean? I threw in my $100, he threw in his $100, you know what I mean? And blah, blah, blah. And then we made our first record in 1993, you know, our first 12-inch in 1993. And then from there, man, it just escalated, man. We kept doing shows, you know what I mean? We just kept pooling our money, taking the money from the first record and just re-upping and do another record, you know what I mean? And just keep going and keep going and keep going until eventually you had like Black Alicious Melodica, and then you had the Laterix album, then you had DJ Shadow introducing, you know what I mean? And then you had Black Alicious Nia, you know, then you had Quantum Spectrum and Soul Side's Greatest Bump, and it just started to snowball from there, you know, and as a result, you know, we just kept touring, you know, we just kept putting out records, kept doing shows, just kept rapping, you know what I mean, and then that was it. You know, and I mean, you know, it's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. I'm giving y'all the real, you know, the condensed version, you know what I mean? But I mean, essentially that's it. You know, just 10 years of dedication and sacrifice and hard work, you know what I mean? And it's paid off. Mm-hmm. You know, it's really paid off.
I actually have a question I was thinking about.
I'm gonna park my car real quick. Sorry, me too. All right, yeah.
What's up, man? All right.
In case I don't see you.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, well, you know, you mentioned your early releases on 12-inch and your early records.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know if you're aware, but, you know, you look on eBay and you look on, you know, you go to record stores, and your records are, you know, they're pretty rare, your older stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, on eBay, they go for, you know, $50, $100, you know, whatever.
Yeah, right.
You know, how do you feel about that?
You know, I think that's dope. You know what I mean? Because the fact that, you know, when you look back, there's so many artists that have come and gone that have had many more resources than we had. You know what I mean? And there's so many more artists that have come and gone that had way more wherewithal and a bigger leg up, you know what I mean? And major label contracts and so forth and so on. You know what I mean? But I'm still here, you know, and in fact, I'm just getting going, you know what I mean? I'm just getting started, you know what I mean? And then you go to a record store and you see your record on the wall like it's a collector's item, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it'd be different maybe if I was broke, you know what I mean? And my record's up there for $100 and I don't even have $100 in my pocket, you know what I mean? Maybe I'd feel differently about it then, you know, but you know, because I'm fortunate enough to, you know, to keep being able to earn, man, and you go in the record store and you see a record up there, and what that means is that record has stood the test of time, you know, and the value of it has increased over time, you know what I mean? It was something about that record at that time that, you know, 5 years later, 10 years later, for whatever reason, that record has increased in value, you know what I mean, based on what you're hearing today, you know. So, I mean, you can't really put a price on that, you know what I mean? So, But man, if those guys, if those, you know, whoever's on eBay, all these, if they can only just come into my record room, man, I've got, damn. Let's put it this way: I'm sitting on my retirement fund right now. You know what I mean? In my record room. So
That's real, man.
yeah.
Yeah, because that stuff goes for a lot of money, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
no doubt. But that's you know, really all that is. That's just appreciation, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's something that I have to remember to be thankful for all the time. You know.
yeah,
So.
yeah, that's a good view. Because you know, some cats may just look at it the exact opposite way, where it's like, you know, I'm not getting that money. They're, you know, someone else is getting my money for selling my record. And,
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, a lot of cats, you know, especially, you know, Bay Area hip hop, you know, like the old Mac Mall records and the JT Bigger Figure, you know, those records sell for a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know,
The old ones,
you know, like the old independent releases, and
they should, you know, because they're valuable, you know,
Right,
and they're a part of the Bay Area history, you know what I mean, and they should sell for a lot of money, you know what I mean. I think some records, even though they come out in the stores for $14.99, are worth 10 G's to me, you know what I mean, just for what they mean to me, you know what I mean, and like those cats, JT, Mac Mall, their records should be worth hundreds of dollars, you know what I mean, because they work just as hard as everybody else. And they did it at a time when, you know, the Bay was repping hard, you know, and they still doing their thing, you know what I mean? So those records should be worth a lot, you know, and I feel, but, you know, it's the same thing. Like I said, if my records were up there and I didn't have any money in my pocket, I might be a little bitter, you know what I mean? But then, like I said, maybe not though, man, you know what I mean? Because, like, none of this stuff is, like I said, none of this stuff has ever stopped me from eating, you know? So I just, but I'm just blessed, man, that people look at our, see, because I'm a record collector myself, you know what I mean? And so I know what that feels like, you know, to walk into a record store and see somebody else's record for a lot of money. That means, you know, it's worth something. You know, it's worth something to the people that made it, and it's worth something to the people that appreciate it, you know?
Yeah, there's one more question I want to ask. Because you've done a lot of innovative songs and a lot of, you know,
Thanks.
You've actually, you know, you're trailblazer almost. I can say that, you know.
Right on. Thanks.
So, what one song have you made or produced that you take the most pride in, and you really say, you know, this is the, you know, I'm really proud of this song, you know.
Yeah, that's tough, man, because there's a lot, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them out there that I really like. You know, just off the top of my head, you know, songs like Balcony Beach, or I Changed My Mind, or Calling Out, you know, or Lady Don't Techno with Latif, you know what I mean? Things like that. I mean, people don't realize it's a hard job, you know what I mean? It's a difficult job. You know, you have to keep your head in the game 24 hours a day, otherwise you're just not going to make it, you know what I mean? And you're not really going to develop to your full potential, you know, in every aspect. And so when you finally hit like that place in, you know, that marker in the road where you're like, whoa, I really did it on this one, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really means a lot, you know, to the artist, you know, to be able to do that, you know what I mean? And I think, you know, with those songs that I mentioned, those were times when I was really able to capture how I feel, and it connected with the people that were listening to it, you know what I mean? Because I'm not one of these guys that makes music in a box and I don't care who likes it or not at all, you know what I mean? I feel like to a certain degree, you know, like I'm a public servant, you know what I mean? Like the music that I make, of course I do it because it makes me happy, you know what I mean? But, you know, I'm not trying to be happy in a bubble, you know what I mean? It's like, it has to. Part of the enjoyment for me is that it brings something to other people. Other people get something out of it. You know, whether it's that song that you throw on in the club, people are like, oh, you know what I mean? I can't tell you what kind of a high that is when somebody does that and they throw your record on, you know what I mean? And people lose it. Right. Or it's that song, you know, the people come up to you afterwards and they're like, man, that song just made me think about things differently. You know what I mean? And that's really how you want it to be, you know, because I'm inspired by artists that did that to me, you know what I mean? And so, you know, I wanted to be like, oh shit, that you hear that Dr. Dre, what happens when he throws that on in the club, you know what I mean? Like I wanted that feeling, you know what I mean? I want that feeling when, like, you know, that feeling that you get when you heard Freaky Tales for the first time, you know what I mean? Or that feeling that you got, you know, when you know, you heard a Ward tour, you know, how it made you change the way you felt about music, you know what I mean? That's the kind of thing that I think a lot of artists like myself live for, you know what I mean? And so, you know, there's been songs like that, luckily, throughout my career that have connected with people, you know, and made made an impact, you know, that other things in their life may not have done. You know what I mean? In the same way that other artists have done that for me. You know what I mean? So, I think, yeah, those songs are just off the top of my head. Those songs are special. You know what I mean? But they're all pieces of the whole. You know what I mean? Like every song you do it's all a part of the big picture. You know what I mean? I can think of like great moments in NFL history. You know what I mean? But it's really the game that is what inspires you. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm coming from, really.
Cool. Yeah, I can feel that.
Got enough?
I think we got enough.
That's
cool.
Yeah, it's really